Downfall of modern podcasts. What is this?
I'm sure you've realized ever since the pandemic that absolutely everyone you've ever met has now got a podcast. And
like me.
It's not even plugged into anything. But there is a big problem on the horizon that we're already starting to experience.
What's that?
Me. Now you probably, what were you filming then? Is it too much to ask to keep the camera on me? Now problem number one is if you're like me, I like listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. So when he went over to Spotify, we celebrated it. And we were happy to pay that Spotify membership. But then for some reason, although we're paying Spotify the money, he's still putting ads in the podcast. So I'm there in bed listening to an episode, about to fall asleep. And then, bam.
This episode is brought to you by Athletic Greens.
Like, whoa. So you're like, hold on, I'm paying you Spotify so I don't get ads, and now I'm getting ads either way. And they don't even play them at the beginning like Lex Friedman so you can skip through them and pretend you listen to them. They put them, bam. Come on, over here, come on. For many of you, you've probably heard of a podcast called Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett. And congratulations, they just hit 5 million subscribers on YouTube, which is amazing.
Wow.
But there's a lot of controversy between the guests at the moment, and all the guests seem to contradict each other and say different things, but they're all renowned experts. But being an expert isn't merely enough, because if you think about it, if two companies are suing each other, both companies will have experts, and those both experts in the same field would disagree with each other. Just making someone an expert doesn't mean they're right, or you wouldn't have people on.
I think that watching the Amber Heard trial, the Johnny Depp thing, I think that really kind of put some holes in my confidence in experts.
Sides. There are several components to operating a podcast in 2024 that people aren't thinking about. Podcasts are businesses. They are not vessels or means of getting you free information, although it may feel that way. Places like YouTube will pay you AdSense, but when you start looking at these podcasts as businesses, this is only a fraction, maybe 10 to 20% of what that business is earning is being paid for by Google. One of the main places you will earn money in a podcast is sponsors. And the sponsor will pay depending on the amount of downloads or the amount of views, because you are putting eyes and ears in front of their brand.
True.
Podcasts also use discount codes, but they're not discount codes, they're commission codes. When you look at Huberman promoting Athletic Greens, if you use this code for the discount, it actually allows Athletic Greens to understand where they're giving their commission to. And if you use Athletic Greens as an example, you're not only looking at $50 commission per sale, but every sale they're on in. So no doubt, a sponsor will not just pay the person to be mentioned, they will then pay the person every time there's commission on their product and sales on their in. So when the likes of Huberman are saying Athletic Greens is really good and it makes them feel so much better, they're not just looking at commission, they're looking at recurring commission. Now, what makes things interesting?
Good point.
So if we look at a company like Huel, Stephen Bartlett is a non-executive director of Huel, which I assume means he has shares in the business. So although I'm sure that Huel pay Diary of a CEO money, every time Stephen Bartlett mentions Huel, he's also inflating the portfolio of a business that he's got shares in. And before I say, that's terrible, I do that every time I tell you about Nutonic, the world's first productivity drinks. Oh, my shares in the business just went up. So far, nothing really is wrong with this picture. The problem starts becoming apparent when you start looking at guests. In the beginning, you want fantastic guests who can arrive and change people's lives and give people so much information and get massive amounts of views and grow your channel to 5 million subscribers. But you will exhaust the amount of great guests very soon. And you can get those guests back on, or what we're starting to see is you bring on guests not who are known for being factually correct or objective, but that you know will cause controversy, cause a rift between the
So he just got done watching, I guess, the Alex Jones episode? He said he's watching Joe Rogan. Yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah, no, okay. Farming controversy. Yeah. Basically, he says they move towards an area of farming controversy.
Cause massive amounts of engagement, cause people to be so outraged that they go and watch the podcast just to see what's factually incorrect in it, and of course get huge amounts of views. You'll even notice that the thumbnail for the episode is changed.
Oh, speaking of that, didn't somebody talk about me on that Whatever podcast? Somebody was telling me about that. I need to find that and look at that.
Every hour on the hour, 12 hours after the podcast is released, to see which thumbnail causes people to click on the most. There is a science to this, and they're choosing titles that are provocative, intriguing, but we're now at the point where people are just looking to piss people off. And if that means you're using misinformation, if it brings you views, and it brings you listens, and it brings you attention, that's not only going to bring you more money from sponsors, it's also going to give you more prospects to sell the business in which you're promoting.
This guy makes a really good point, and I think he's completely right. I think the only part that he's wrong about is that this is a problem with podcasts. I think this is a problem with the feedback loop of how people monetize content on the internet in general. That's the reason why CNN and all of these different publishing places keep publishing articles that are inflammatory and obnoxious and wrong. It's like they publish some article like 5 things that white people are doing wrong, and they know that it's going to get a bunch of people mad. And so it doesn't really matter to them, though, because the person who writes it doesn't even work for them. They're just publishing their article as an editorial. And if they get enough heat for it, they'll just remove the person and then keep the money. So this is a problem with YouTube videos. It's a problem with podcasts. It's a problem with everything.
Need to do is check the comment section of these guests when they're announced. There was even a post by the vegan doctor that I was meant to show you guys here, but I think it's been deleted because the comments were so bad on it. But although you can cause a lot of controversy from the amount of people that are coming to your page, if it boosts your revenue, you will continue to do that habit or endeavor. It's a positive feedback loop. So
most
the
of the
biggest
time
issue you see in models like Diary of a CEO is that it's very apparent this is becoming more of a business operation than it is trying to get good quality information to the forefront of the listeners. Let's have a look at some of the comments.
I love cheese.
I'm honestly starting to get tired of all these health food experts. If I followed every advice of the guests on the show, I'd have to change my diet every week. How do you elaborate all of these contradictory statements from all of your different guests? I watch all the episodes and I find it really hard. And so many of the things that people are saying on podcasts.
Well, this is like every single time I go to the grocery store, I see a new magazine with Dr. Oz on it, and it's another weight loss pill that you don't have to do anything. All you do is take the pill. You don't need to stop it. You don't need to exercise. You don't need to do anything. You just take the pill and that's it. And it's like, how do you need to make a new one every single month? Like, if the like, is it like was it like from a endangered animal, and like you made so many diet pills that have this endangered animal, it went extinct, so now you have to like think of a new endangered animal? Like, why is it that you keep needing new diet cure pills? Like, how does this happen?
Not true. And a great example of this would be the misinformation that Ben Carpenter put out this week. I'll tell you what, Ben, I'm even going to show people you're real because I think it's really important.
100 normal individuals, 25 in 4 different groups. One group, 1 liter of sugared soda per day for 6 months. One group, 1 liter of diet soda per day for 6 months. One group, 1 liter of milk per day for 6 months. Final group, 1 liter of water per day for 6 months.
I was in group 1.
1 liter of soda per day in 6 months gained 10 kilos.
The sugary soda.
Hogs, bro. Hogs.
The sugary soda.
10 kilos.
The 1 liter of water per day lost 2 kilos. 1 liter of milk per day, no change.
Presumably that was full-fat milk. We're talking about Europe.
Full fat milk.
Yeah, they like their full-fat milk.
No change. And finally, the key, the kicker
The
to the whole
diet
thing.
one. Yeah, where's the diet?
Diet soda.
Ooh.
1 liter of diet soda. What would you predict their weight would do?
More weight loss than in the water group based on my understanding of the literature.
They gained 2 kilos.
Podcasts.
Who the fuck actually thought that diet soda caused you to lose weight? Donald Trump was right. Remember whenever he said he never saw a skinny person drinking a Diet Coke? Neither have I.
Talking about science? Love it. Podcasts, including references in their show notes? Especially love it. Podcasts that totally misrepresent what the study actually said? Don't love it quite so much. Here is what that study actually showed. Firstly, it was 60 people, not 100. Secondly, it wasn't full-fat milk. Thirdly, most importantly, those incredible sounding numbers, they are absolute.
Why, there's no control?
He claimed soda resulted in 10 kilos of weight gain. 2 kilos from diet soda, no change from milk, 2 kilos weight loss from water. Guess what the study actually showed? No significant body weight change in any group. There was a tiny trend for weight and fat gain in the soda group, but it was not 10 kilograms. It was a measly 1.25 kilograms. Drinking the sugary soda did increase ectopic fat levels, and other studies show they can promote weight and fat gain, even if that wasn't seen in this study. Anyone who even bothers to skim read the abstract will...
So that means nobody knows this. Because it says people that bother to read the study. Okay, so then nobody will ever find out. This is forbidden knowledge. It might as well be in Japanese. It's an ancient Sumerian text. There's only like 3 people that work at Oxford that can read it, and they all have to get together to cross-reference what the words mean.
that what he is saying isn't even close to factually correct.
Oh,
My
God.
point is, please be careful which podcasts you trust, even if you happen to like the people behind the microphone.
And the biggest
By the
issue-
way, like, what a W video. Just totally focused on the like, I really wish that we had more stuff like that. Because, like, everybody has, like, all these misconceptions with, like, statistics and studies. And it's like, every single time I see a video of people that can't do math, it gets me so much more upset. Because I think to myself, oh my God, like, you could make a trend that could show almost anything. And if you omit enough context, it'll make sense to somebody. That's scary.
It's going to be this. Supply and demand are not in a position to serve each other. Because think of it, you've got Joe Rogan, you've got Lex Friedman, you've got Chris Williamson, you've got Stephen Bartlett, you've got all these well-established businesses that are all fighting over a supply of good speakers. And once they've been interviewed on one podcast, their stocks are diluted because people go, well, I listened to Matthew Walker and Joe Rogan,
selling the stocks.
To him and Chris Williamson.
True.
So you have all these people fighting for this really small amount of supply of actually good people to have on. And when you can't access those people,
you bring
need
on
to
the
start going
crazies.
to the bottom of the bucket and finding people that are divisive, controversial, or that are just going to say things against the status quo, like we just saw in Ben Carpenter's reel. People are going to cherry pick studies, or worse yet, make up their own outcome of the studies, because people at the moment are making a snapshot from these reels that are put out and taking that as evidence.
Well, that's, yeah, if you want to know what you need to do with your life, you need to watch YouTube shorts for 4 hours a day. And if you do that and you wake up early, you're going to be a winner. No, he's totally right.
In my DMs, you might have to throw in the towel soon. I was like, mate, you've watched one reel. I said, it's already been debunked, you nonce, which in English means paedophile. Just keeping you on your toes, dickhead. Then sends me Jason Fung, one of the most notorious charlatans of misinformation. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is something called the confirmation bias. And the confirmation bias is where you go out and seek information that already fits your narrative and you ignore everything else that doesn't. The current...
Do people do that?
state of the world is that people will see something that someone says in 90 seconds. They won't reference studies. They won't reference any literature. They'll just say it with enough conviction that people think it's true. They will then take that information and try and convert people around them. This is causing mass confusion. And the big issue with all of this is when so much information is contradicting, people won't listen to any of it. It's a real shame because podcasts for so many years were such
This
an
is,
amazing...
by the way, predicted by 1984. The deluge of information.
way for you to bolster your knowledge, but now you're just being drip-fed bullshit so that other companies can profit off of getting more downloads, views, and listens. It's the sad reality of the world, and I don't see it getting better anytime soon.
I fucking love this guy. Holy shit, oh my God. Bro, I could not have said it better myself. What a fucking legend. Absolutely. Like, this guy is, oh my God. He's completely, he seems legit. Yeah, he's right. He's right. This is a 9-minute video. Yeah, I'll link you guys to it. This is so good. Yeah, no, but I mean, he's right about this. Yeah, for sure. He's had great content for a long time. Been watching it for a while. I've never seen any of his videos before. I saw this one right here. Like, it's just, it's like, how can you possibly argue with this? Because, like, it's just logic, cause and effect, you know, and just basic psychology. There it is. Video started out weird. It's pretty good. Well, I think that it's just like you have to build a foundation to understand why people do things. And sometimes it might be hard to understand where a person is coming from there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 9 minutes. Video felt so good. It was like 3. Yeah, this is fucking great. I love this. But yeah, very intelligent dude. Yeah, this is... I'm so happy I watched this. This is amazing. Thank God people are calling this shit out.